Hello and welcome, episode 27 of the Inferno. On this episode, we're going to discuss when the fog starts to lift. So we're discussing the realization that you have just encountered a toxic relationship, perhaps with a narcissist, sociopath, at the very minimum, somebody who is a complete lie. So usually, I don't know for everybody else, you can put it in the comments, but for me, I did not realize that the person I was married to for 12 years was a narcissist. Of course, a lot of them come to new relationships sharing common wounds, right? Or some sort of trauma, some sort of playing the victim role in their lives, and that's how they kind of reel you in. So I always knew there was issues, and for myself, I have childhood issues too, but the difference between a healthy person and the toxic narcissist is, somebody who is open to soul growth, somebody who is willing to shift and change for the betterment of themselves to heal and grow. Is we don't hurt people intentionally, and a toxic person does. So for me, the situationship ended abruptly. And that's when I realized that I was dealing with a toxic narcissist, sociopath, abuser. So it was usually there's some sort of big, huge shock and awe. And that's usually, sadly, it's too late by that time if you've invested time with this person. And so the narcissistic fog, the PTSD, the chaos that the narcissist drew you into will start making a whole lot more sense to you. And you'll look back and you'll have replays of different things that happened in the relationship, which I call situationships, that dots start connecting. And it's alarming, and it's a process. Like I've said before on the healing journey, it's a spiral. It's not linear. So a lot of times, reflecting back, you'll go, wow, this person lacked empathy. Why did I not see it? This person was starting to have different moves in the bedroom that they didn't normally have. This person would roll their eyes at me. This person would laugh under circumstances that were serious. And you're going to start coming out of that fog. It's a narcissistic fog, and it causes not only PTSD, psychological effects of it, physical, emotional. The narcissist is a taker, and a healthy relationship is reciprocal. So the more time, it's not just time on our healing journey, it's how much we're willing to process and go into the depths of the core, go into your heart and soul, and really dig up the pieces so that you can truly heal. And the realizations and the dots are still connecting for me. I think it's about 13 months that I'm free from a 12-year complete lie, that this person played me the entire time. But I'm still processing, thankfully not ruminating, thankfully not in any contact with this person, because that's the first thing when you start coming out of the fog and realize that you've been in these toxic relationships, is to make sure that you are going silent with them. Because as you know, I don't know how much time you guys had in your situationships with a narcissist or a toxic abuser, but the more time you spend with them, the more they will make you sick. They will leave you depleted. And if you really get real and raw with yourself, you'll look back and go, why did I make so many excuses for the shitty behavior, for the lying, for the cheating? And a lot of times it's because we're trusting their words and their actions aren't in alignment with their words. So I know it's, it's batshit crazy. It's quite the mindfuck when you realize that you've invested your heart and soul and your time into a person that was not real. They're not real people. They've given themselves over to repeated cycles in their lives. And if you really get real with yourself and look at the situation from a third party perspective, the observer of it looking back, you'll see that they never truly changed. They never truly had any type of soul growth. And they're very, very immature. And that's because they are stuck at a very young age in this cycle. Their self-development is very stunted. So if you've noticed, they would pick fights. My ex used to pick fights with my kids. Instigate like a little kid, like I was raising a third child, because I didn't realize that I got put into the mother position, because a narcissist is not born. They're created by the mother. It's always a mother wound. And it's an unhealthy attachment style that they had in youth. They were either spoiled and enabled by the mother, or they were neglected, abused in the typical sense. So looking back over 12 years, it was like you were supposed to be in a marriage, but you're actually parenting, because they are very, very stunted and very immature. So as that fog and that PTSD, and you're doing your work on yourself, just have the knowing within you that you're going to still have dots connecting of the past. And that's a good thing, to dig up all that junk and to release it and transmute it, so that you're never in a situation with one of these little bastards or bitches again, because they're just users. They're abusers. They shapeshift depending on who they are. And they most likely were with you for some sort of resources, whether it be your personality, because they have none. There's other videos out there and also on my channel about why you were interacting with a narcissist. So I know one thing for me that I was reflecting on is this ex of 12 years changed his phone number a lot. And I know there's a lot of people out there talking about narcissism. And there's plenty of information on that. But for the one that I experienced, in 12 years, probably changed his phone number 6 to 8 times. And that's because he worked out of town, would interact and have, affairs or one-night stands with third parties outside of the marriage. And so he had to change his number when he came back home, because it was easier for him to just ghost whoever he was having sex with, right? Sex is just an exchange for them. They don't care who it is. They don't care which gender it is. It's just fuel for them. Whether it be sex, some sort of attention, some sort of services. So that was something I coming out of the fog, had the realization of wow, that's why this thing changed its number so many times. They also left social media, and for years would tell me, oh, I don't know the password. No, that was because he was contacting people through private messaging. And so as the fog lifts, you're going to have continuously, I don't know how long this goes on for, but it's important. And I wanted to share that today about, kind of be gentle with yourself as the fog lifts and the PTSD lessens, the anxiety lessens, and you start getting more clarity within your mind of what you just went through and what you experienced living with a complete lie. Whether it be an intimate partner, a parent, whatever. I a lot of times on my channel talk about they're not intimate, so it's really the wrong word, but a marriage person or a companion, one-sided. So that was another fog, clarity of mind. About a month or so before I got blindsided with the disengagement of the narco, he was suggesting that I sold my truck, which I use and love my truck. to pieces. It's not only what I like to drive because it's a bigger vehicle, but it's also how I get my feed for my animals and stuff. And so I look back at that and go, oh, because he had been living that quote secret life, that parallel life, because they never have just one supply source, with his coworker that started at the same place he works at, like in August of 2022, and by May of 2023 he was disengaging and in his mindset, twisted mindset, disengaging and throwing me away like trash, like I was of no more value to him. Again, that's his mindset. That's a narcissist mindset, because they do not see you as a person. So that was another situation that he either wanted to use the money to, I don't know, he suggested selling the truck that I drive anyway, because he was either wanting to pay off the thousands of dollars credit card debt I did not know that he had, or he wanted to leave me in more of a shitty situation with not having a reliable vehicle. I don't know if I've shared it here before, but this person knew that I love to cook, love to provide and have a meal and sit down at the table as a quote family, so I thought. And he literally gutted my kitchen completely and then blindsided me and left for his new supply. So when the fog lifts, you're going to be alarmed by all of this, but make sure that you look at this to see them for who they truly are, because it's going to help you tremendously on your healing journey. Another example would be, some of these narcissists, if you're both working outside of the home, they'll encourage you to be a stay-at-home wife or husband or whatever, so that you become more reliant on them. So some of them may try to convince you to leave your job. Some of them will, if you've been the one that in the household taking care of all the bills, they will try to pretend like they're trying to help you lighten load by helping take over some of the bills and having control over paying the bills. But in all actuality, it's all for control, because this one did this to me. It took me years to get his credit changed around as a single man, which was bizarro in the first place. That was a red flag I definitely ignored. My instance on my credit was medical bills and raising 2 children by myself, so I did have some credit to turn around as well. And it took me years to do that. And the minute that I was more reliant on him, that he was the main breadwinner, he started taking over the bills. He started, just always would tell me that he was so happy that I was a stay-at-home wife because I always cooked meals and kept the home clean. But it was all in his sick-ass mind ways of control, because then he abruptly left me. And another thing a lot of these narcissists do, and this happened in my case, this dude that I was married to for 12 years screwed me the day before he blindsided me and left. And he had already been sleeping with this thing at work that knew he was married. So when the other supply is aware that you are in a marriage or a relationship with the person they're messing with, they are just as toxic. Again, reminder to everybody, karma never misses an address. So, as you're dealing and processing with all these painful realizations, also know that if you were a genuine person, your heart was into it, you have to get really real with yourself and go, why did I ignore that? Why did I make excuses for these behaviors that they do? Because they're very trifling. And a lot of them also have addictions, whether it be alcohol, drugs, pornography. This dude, and I don't know why I ignored it. I don't. But now that I'm out of the fog, now that I'm healing, I'm willing to go into my soul growth. A narcissist never will. They're never going to mature past that little age of, I forget the age limit, and I am no therapist. I am just somebody who's experienced this toxic ass relationship. And once you do your healing and once you do your growth, you will not tolerate it, and you won't even be in the same vibration anymore to be in a situation like that. So they're just users and abusers, and they have no problem whatsoever sleeping with you right after they sleep with somebody else. So man, dude, if you are in awareness, or if you're still with a narcissist, do not sleep with them without protection. They don't care. I know the first time it happened to me, I didn't realize he was a narcissist. I was still basically excusing his behavior for being an alcoholic. And when I realized that he had cheated on me 14 months after my son passed away, the chick that he slept with, he didn't know whether she could get pregnant. Obviously, he didn't wear protection. Narcissists do not care. They are very impulsive. They think in the moment. They don't think about the after effects of anything. And that's why it's so easy for them to cut your throat. It's easy for them to kick you while you're down, because they are so living out of the flesh that it's just about the, quote, feel good moments. So make sure you get yourself blood work and STD checks. I love this. Got a quote for you that is from one of the people I learned from, Quinn. And it is STD, sexually transmitted demons, because these people are exchanging energy with anything and everything that walks and talks. And so you are energetically also opened up to that. And I'm telling you, I was on to the narcissist this last time. It was easy for him to cheat and be trifling and a drunk when he worked out of town, because that's what he chose to do for years. And so, pardon me, when he started working closer to home, he started acting completely different, using different words. He was already grooming and having interactions and sexual interactions with the bimbo at work. Again, it was from August of 2022, where me and my daughter were the best thing that ever happened to him in his life. And by May, he was throwing me away and her away like we were junk on the highway. They have zero moral compass. I talk about that often. And so just be really gentle with yourself. I'm not going to keep rattling on because I have so much more to say, and so much more to say for sure when the divorce process is finalized. So make sure you're gentle with yourself, because when you have all these dots connecting, you're going to be overwhelmed with the realization of why they did what they did, why they would say what they would say, the reactions they would have, whether it would be laughing at serious situations or rolling their eyes at you. They just shapeshift depending on who they are. And I will be doing an upcoming video too, and I'm going to talk about sure tale signs of when they are already screwing somebody else, because they go next level disrespectful to you. So keep a clear mind. And again, as you get farther and farther away from the narcissist, and you get deeper and deeper into your healing, and you start gaining clarity of mind, the dots will continue to connect. Be gentle with yourself. Don't beat yourself up. Keep taking one step in front of another. And if you're still with a narcissist, run for the fucking hills. Much love to you. Until the next time. Shalom.